EV sales have taken quite a slump in the last couple of weeks, leaving EV dealers with unwanted stock and manufacturers puzzled about the future of electric vehicles. Despite reductions in prices, the introduction of appealing tax incentives, and a market flush with innovative models, the anticipated surge in consumer demand has failed to materialize. Major automakers, including industry giants like Tesla and Ford, are significantly revising their strategies in response. Even Mercedes-Benz CFO has publicly labeled the EV market as tough. So in this video, we'll delve into the reasons behind this decline, exploring the factors contributing to the crash in EV sales and what it means for the future of EVs. Why are EVs crashing? The recent downturn in electric vehicle EV sales can be traced back to a complex interplay of economic factors, ambitious governmental goals, market dynamics, and consumer sentiments. Each of these factors contributes uniquely to the challenges facing the EV market today. Governments around the world have set ambitious goals for the adoption of electric vehicles as part of broader initiatives to combat climate change and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. These goals often come with aggressive timelines and high expectations for both manufacturers and consumers. In response, automakers have ramped up production capacities, anticipating a surge in consumer demand driven by policy incentives and changing societal attitudes towards greener technologies. However, the reality of consumer uptake has not always aligned with these expectations, leading to discrepancies between supply and demand. The issue of oversupply in the EV market is a significant factor in the declining sales figures. Many automakers, buoyed by initial high interest in governmental pushes towards electrification, expanded their production forecasts and capabilities. This expansion was often based on overly optimistic assumptions about the speed at which consumers would transition from traditional combustion engines to electric models. As a result, the market has seen an accumulation of inventory that exceeds current demand, complicating the financial stability of these ventures and leading to a glut in the market. This oversupply is exacerbated by the still evolving infrastructure for EVs, which has not kept pace with the increase in vehicle production, further deterring potential buyers. Consumer uncertainty also plays a crucial role in the fluctuating sales of EVs. Despite the growing awareness of environmental issues and the long-term economic benefits of owning an EV, such as lower fuel and maintenance costs, immediate concerns often sway potential buyers. The upfront cost of EVs remains relatively high compared to traditional vehicles, and the economic instability caused by global events like pandemics or geopolitical tensions makes consumers hesitant to invest in new technology perceived as experimental or less reliable. Moreover, the interplay between consumer expectations and market realities can create a feedback loop that further dampens sales. As consumers wait on the sidelines, waiting for advancements in technology or improvements in infrastructure, sales continue to lag, which in turn can lead manufacturers to slow down production or scale back innovation investments, slowing the pace of improvements that could make EVs more attractive to potential buyers. The current challenges. Consumer purchasing trends in the EV market have shown significant variability, influenced largely by economic conditions and shifts in societal attitudes towards sustainable practices. Initially, there was a surge in EV purchases driven by early adopters eager to embrace new technologies and benefit from the incentives offered by governments worldwide. These incentives included tax breaks, rebates, and grants, which effectively lowered the entry cost for potential EV buyers and made electric vehicles an economically attractive alternative to traditional combustion engines. However, as the novelty began to wane and initial government incentives started to diminish, a shift in purchasing trends became evident. Many governments have begun scaling back their financial support for EVs as part of budgetary adjustments or in response to achieving initial adoption targets. This reduction in incentives has made the cost difference between electric vehicles and traditional vehicles less stark, leading to a slowdown in consumer transition to electric mobility. Without substantial financial incentives, the higher upfront cost of EVs becomes a significant barrier for a broader segment of the consumer base, who might still be skeptical or financially unprepared to make the switch. Additionally, the pace of technological advancements, or rather the lack thereof, plays a crucial role in influencing consumer decisions regarding EVs. While there have been improvements in battery technology and charging infrastructure, the pace is often perceived as too slow to meet consumer expectations. For instance, concerns about battery life, including degradation over time and the mileage available on a single charge, continue to be significant deterrents. The anxiety about being stranded without a charging station nearby, range anxiety, is a real concern for many potential buyers, particularly in regions where charging infrastructure is underdeveloped. Charging technology itself is another area where slow progress impacts consumer decisions. Current charging times, although improved, still cannot compete with the speed of refueling a traditional gasoline vehicle. The lack of ultra-fast charging stations that are widely and readily available limits the practicality of EVs for long-distance travel or quick turnaround needs, which is a crucial factor for consumers who depend on their vehicles for extended or unpredictable travel. Furthermore, for many consumers, the switch to an electric vehicle involves more than just replacing their car. It necessitates an overhaul of their daily routines and mobility habits, requiring access to home charging installations or reliable public charging networks. The slow progress in creating a seamless and user-friendly ecosystem around EV technology makes it less appealing, especially for those not driven by the novelty of environmental considerations of owning an EV. These factors combined shape how consumers approach the decision to purchase an electric vehicle. Each element feeds into a cycle of hesitation and reconsideration, slowing down the momentum that the EV market once had. Impact of the crashing sales of EVs. The decline in electric vehicle EV sales not only affects manufacturers, but also sends ripple effects across the entire automotive industry and beyond. Starting with the automotive industry, the slowdown in EV sales poses significant challenge for manufacturers who have invested heavily in transitioning towards electric mobility. Many automotive companies have redirected substantial portions of their research and development budgets to electric technologies, betting on a future dominated by electric vehicles. A downturn in sales can lead to underutilized production capacity and, more critically, a slower return on these hefty investments. This situation can strain financial resources, leading to cuts in jobs, scaling back future investment plans, and potentially stifling innovation in the sector. The effect extends to the vast network of suppliers and businesses that support the automotive industry. Companies that produce EV-specific components, such as batteries, electric motors, and specialized electronics, face reduced orders and revenue losses when EV sales falter. These businesses, many of which have pivoted from traditional automotive parts to cater to the growing EV market, may find themselves in precarious financial situations without a steady demand. Moreover, this downturn can also affect the labor market, as these companies might freeze hiring or even lay off workers in response to reduced demand. From an environmental perspective, the implications of declining EV sales are equally concerning. Electric vehicles are considered a critical component in the global strategy to reduce carbon emissions. As countries strive to meet international climate targets, such as those set by the Paris Agreement, increasing the adoption of EVs is a key element in reducing the carbon footprint of the transportation sector, which is one of the largest contributors to global greenhouse gas emissions. Slower sales of EVs can, therefore, hinder progress towards these climate goals, potentially resulting in higher overall emissions if the gap is filled by gasoline vehicles, which are more polluting. The broader societal impacts are also significant. Part of the allure of EVs lies in their ability to improve urban air quality by reducing the emissions of pollutants typical of internal combustion engines. Slower EV sales might mean prolonged poor air quality in congested urban centers, with direct consequences for public health. Additionally, the perception of governments and industry's commitment to sustainability can be affected, potentially eroding public trust and support for future environmental initiatives. These impacts highlight the interconnected nature of economic activities and environmental goals, underscoring the need for cohesive policies and initiatives that encourage the adoption of cleaner, sustainable technologies across the globe. Addressing these challenges effectively requires a concerted effort from manufacturers, governments, and consumers to realign the trajectory towards a more sustainable automotive future. So, what now? As the electric vehicle (EV) market faces significant challenges, it becomes imperative to consider solutions and strategies that could stabilize and potentially revitalize sales. These strategies involve innovative financing options, enhanced governmental support, expanded charging infrastructure, and effective public awareness campaigns. Each component plays a vital role in creating a more favorable environment for EV adoption. Innovative financing options can significantly lower the barriers to EV ownership. Given the higher upfront costs associated with electric vehicles, primarily due to expensive battery technologies, consumers often hesitate before making a purchase. Financial solutions such as leasing programs, lower interest rates on EV loans, and battery leasing could reduce the initial cost burden. For instance, battery leasing allows consumers to pay a monthly fee for the battery rather than buying it outright, reducing the purchase price of the vehicle. Such financial innovations make EVs more accessible to a broader audience and can stimulate market demand. Enhanced governmental support is crucial for accelerating EV adoption. Governments can play a transformative role by reintroducing or increasing incentives for electric vehicle purchases, such as tax rebates, grants, and subsidies. Beyond direct consumer incentives, governments can support the development of local EV manufacturing capabilities, reducing costs through economies of scale and securing a supply chain less dependent on international markets. Additionally, governments can lead by example by transitioning their fleets to electric vehicles, thereby boosting demand and demonstrating confidence in EV technology. Public-private partnerships are essential to expand and improve EV charging infrastructure. The current inadequacy of charging facilities is a significant deterrent for potential EV buyers. Collaborations between governments and private companies can expedite the development of a comprehensive charging network, including fast charging stations along major highways and more charging points in urban and rural areas. These efforts should focus on reliability and convenience to alleviate range anxiety and make EVs a viable option for all types of travel. Moreover, the auto industry must continue to innovate in technology, particularly in battery performance and charging technology. Advances that reduce battery costs, increase energy density, and cut charging times will make EVs more attractive to a broader range of consumers. Continued research and development, fueled by both private investment and public funding, will be critical to overcoming the current technological hurdles that limit EV adoption. Now, what are your thoughts on the evolving world of electric vehicles? Are you considering making the switch to an EV, or do you think there are still hurdles to overcome? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.